Okay. Nobody's on, but that's okay. I just thought I'd make sure I know how to set up a live stream when I'm in the field remote. Might as well take advantage of my Starlink setup here. Also planned tonight, it is February 13th, 2024. It's approximately 7:36 p.m. This is Mountain Time. I'm in Alamo Lake State Park in Arizona. And what I hope to do tonight is share a little information about Tom Palmer's Target Scheduler plugin. Show it in action tonight. And let's kind of get started. I'm basically working with my Red Cat 51 Gen 2 tonight. And I'm not using my rotator. Tonight, everything will frame just the way the tube is pointed right now and the orientation of the camera, so it's good. And let's take a look at the plugin. Oh, geez. I probably just, yeah, okay. So let's see here now. Let's go into the Target Scheduler plugin. And basically, it has three sections. It has the target management, schedule preview, and acquired images. Target management is where you can set up which targets you want to image over a period of time. You can set up all your targets for the year that you would like to image. Set them up in advance, and then you get to associate an exposure plan with that target. And there's certain kind of parameters that you can set for here. There's a rotation for the target. Reason I'm not using my rotator tonight is because I didn't in advance figure out what the rotation needed to be for each of the targets and then capture that in this parameter here, but that's okay. And then you have also, you can create exposure templates. What I do here is I create, for the different filters that I have, different sub-exposure lengths. And then when I'm planning a target, like tonight, we'll do the Seagull Nebula, and then I can associate what I want. I want some, on my narrowband, I want to go 240 seconds, and I want 30 frames or sub-exposures. And then to capture RGB stars, I'm just doing 60 seconds, and I want 20 of each for the red, green, and blue. And then this software, his plugin, has the ability to score the images and then keep track of how many were acquired and then how many were accepted. And then it'll count up as additional ones are accepted. And then once it hits the number that is desired, it will no longer image or do an exposure for that filter. So, all right, what else do we have here? There's also the scheduler preview. So if we do a run here, tonight, it wants to wait until 1940, which is astronomical dark. And then we're going to do the Seagull Nebula, and then we're going to move on to a reflection nebula. The moon will be gone by that time, and we're going to capture some data for IC 2169. And according to this, should be done imaging around 1:55 in the morning. And then we could go in see what's been acquired so far. And so if we go into an emission nebula project and we go into the Seagull, because I've been imaging that the last night or two, then we can see what's been acquired. And here are all the frames or exposures for the Siegel Nebula IC 2177 that have been acquired. And then it gives you some statistics, shows you which ones have been accepted, which ones have not. So several have been not accepted because of HFR criteria. Now I have the ability to disregard that when I'm actually going to process the data. And in general, you can turn the image grader feature that's part of this plugin on or off. I run with it on. And let's see what else. Here for each sub-exposure, we see what the eccentricity was, the full width half maximum value, HFR, how many stars were captured. So that's what we have there. And then we can go back. That was for the last 2 days that I've captured on IC 2177. Let's see if I've captured anything on the... Okay, I haven't captured anything, I guess, on IC 2169 that will do second target up. Okay, so that's kind of the high view there of the target scheduler plugin. Now we're going to go into the sequence. And what I like about target scheduler, it took me a little bit to figure out how to use the advanced sequencer. I will admit that I struggled with it a bit, but this plugin is so cool because it's a different construct on how you build your sequence in the advanced sequencer. And the key feature here is what we're looking at, and that is the container for target scheduler, which is called the target scheduler container. And you have to drop it inside in a sequential instruction set, but here is basically the container right in here. And then the way you build all your targets and everything, you do it through the features I just showed you, target management. You build them through this. So it's really simplified in my view, and I love it so far. I've not had any issues. So let's get back into the advanced sequencer. So, I've got a beginning where I start robocopy, where I can copy any data going to the main drive to a second thumb drive. And then, make sure that I cool my camera. And then there is a target scheduler condition, and that is loop while targets remain tonight. So tonight I'm only scheduled to do two targets per what the plan indicates here. So for tonight there's only 2 targets, and so after these 2 targets finish, then what will happen is it'll drop down into the end sequence where I start to shut things down. And so really simple and straightforward. And one more thing, we'll go into back into the plugin, and if we want to view the details, you can get into the details, and there'll be information here on why decisions are being made on what to schedule, what to run, and those type of things. So there's a lot of information here. There is some parameters you can set. So maybe you want a meridian window priority. Some people like to just image on so many hours either side of the meridian, I understand. And that way the target is highest in the sky and away from the sky globe down lower. Tonight I'm going to be imaging from anything above 25 degrees in altitude, and then I'm going to stop imaging on a target once it drops to 25 degrees altitude. So there's a lot of information here. You can there's a moon avoidance feature that you can set in your exposure plan, but it's very simple. And if you're interested in moving to the advanced sequencer, in my mind, this is the way to go. It's really a simplified way to do it. So okay, let's get over into the sequence and let's hope this thing runs. Now we do have some triggers, and these days with the changes that were made to the target scheduler, there are custom event conditions down here, and this is where I put the triggers now for the meridian flip, autofocus after time, after temperature change, and also then center after drift. And then once the target gets kicked off, we'll see some target information here. We'll see the a horizon and where the transit of the target that's currently in view, in focus. So let's quit talking. Yeah, let's quit talking and give this a run for the money. Okay, now we're going to go over to the imaging tab, and I'm going to get rid of my picture for a little bit. And what we're going to see down here is the sequence and where we're at in the sequence. If you're not familiar with what is this plugin here that I'm using, telescope model, which plugin gives me that? This is part of Point 3D plugin, I believe. And I love this plugin here. It lets me know the orientation of my telescope, and I like that. So the first thing we're doing is we're slewing and centering, and let's see what it looks like from the sequence window here. So now you see the first target. We now see its transit view. Tells you here it's IC 2177 Seagull Nebula, and it says it's going to stop at 1:20 in the morning. We'll see if that's actually what happens. Go back to imaging. So I'm out here with two scopes, my Red Cat 51 and also my Edge HD8. I still have an issue with kind of stars that look like horizontal dashes. Haven't figured that out yet. I decided just to focus on one scope and target scheduler and make sure that I get everything running well here. And now we're going to do the autofocus. So with the Edge HD8, I also had an issue when I was downloading Nina. I'm running right now on Nina 3.0 beta 019. And in the process of upgrading the betas, I must have corrupted something in the process of downloading, and it would no longer install the next version. I had to go in and basically into Edge Reddit and delete the Nina product key, and then once I removed that, I was able to install again. So little issue I had there on my Prima Luce Lab Eagle 5S. So may have an issue with this instance of Nina is running on my B-Link SER5. It has the Ryzen 7 processor. I'm not sure that I'm exposing the right number of COM ports, so that's something I got to figure out there. I'm having a little trouble connecting my Giotto flat panel generator to this instance of Nina, yet I have no problem connecting the same flat panel to the instance of Nina, which is also beta 017 on my Edge HD8. So a couple of things, I have to sort through when I get back home, and that's fine. It wouldn't be a night of imaging if you didn't have a couple of challenges here. So let's see what's happening here on. So let's clear that, and all right, we'll see this pick up here. Okay. So let's see what we get here. Hello, if anyone's on, if you can let me know in the chat window if you can hear me and you can see this, that'd be appreciated. I'm basically testing out a live stream here tonight in the field, and this is being run linked through my Starlink, so I'm kind of curious on the upload quality and those type of things. So, all right. For those just joining, if you can hear me, let me know that in the chat window. I appreciate it. What I'm trying to do tonight is highlight a little bit about Tom Palmer's target scheduler, a plugin for Nina. I find it very useful. It's very cool, and it really is simplified. All right. Thank you, Michael. I find it really simple to work with the advanced sequencer in Nina now. And when we get a few more people on and we start to get the first image going and I have guiding going tonight, then we'll step back through the target scheduler plugin. And okay, I'll take that. I'll take that focus curve. I've been getting pretty good focus runs. I'm using Hocus Focus here on Nina, and I do notice my guiding metrics are up a little bit from where they were last night. We'll see if that what happens as we go forward. And there are some clouds in the area tonight, and this target is still a little bit low in the sky at 25 degrees. And so we'll let this finish here. And okay, so we got the first exposure going. And so while we're waiting for that, let's and my guiding metrics are starting to count down a little bit. So let's again just take a quick look at the plugin so you have an idea what I'm doing. Target scheduler, and basically the target I'm doing tonight, I'm doing two targets. The first one is IC 2177. And this view here will show you my progress so far over the previous night in collecting exposures. This plugin has the ability to grade your images on various factors. So that's why you see acquired versus accepted. And what you see down here in this column, this is my exposure plan. But basically for this target, what I'm doing is I'm taking 2 of each filter. So 2 of the HA at 240, SI at 240, O3 at 240. And then for my RGB stars, I'm just doing 60-second exposures, 2 of each, and then I do a dither. And that way I kind of cut down on the number of dithers in a sense that I do in a night. And here's where my exposure templates are that I have to choose from, so you can build your exposure templates. And so here you see a variety of filters, and exposure length, and then you just pick the plan that you want to associate with the target, and then you're pretty good set to go. But here's what's running. Here's what the scheduler has for me to run tonight. It's going to start me with the Seagull Nebula, and then we're going to move on to IC 2169. The number of shots taken in each channel is unbalanced, and there are always more shots taken first. How should I set it? Are you speaking about Target Scheduler? The way I do it, and that's one of the reasons I like the Target Scheduler. When I was using the ASI Air platform, let's go just back and see what's happening in this here. I always wound up with an uneven number of exposures at the end of the night. So let's let this image complete, and then I'll go in and try and answer your questions. Yeah, now my guiding metrics are more in line with what I would expect there tonight. And let's let this one finish. One thing I will say is this B-Link Ryzen 7 processor with 16 gigs of RAM is a bit snappier than my original B-Link U59, which was running on a it was a lower level processor. So I like this new Ryzen 7 processor, and so far so good. But let me okay, it's going to do an autofocus, and that's okay. And then so there's the first HA exposure of 240 seconds of the Seagull Nebula, and we'll let the autofocus run, and then let's go in. So let's go into target management. So let's go back up to Seagull. Okay, so if I understand the question, the number of shots taken in each channel is unbalanced. I have, with Target Scheduler, the number of shots taken for the most part have been balanced. I don't know why I have a lesser number of blue. That's something I'm going to have to figure out. I'll go into the log files when I get home and try and understand that. But essentially, other than the blue filter, there's good balance across the filters. And again, when I show the order of the exposure override, what you see here is that okay, what happened there? That's what I get for there we go. Oh, that was interesting. Not sure what happened there. So let's go back into Target Scheduler, and when I show the override, oh, I know what happened. I think I hit this button instead. What you see here is that I'm taking 2 for each filter, and then I'm doing a dither. So that's what I expected to do. Now, there's a chance that the Target Scheduler itself is, for some reason, scheduling a smaller number of blue filters. That I don't know. So I have to dig into that a bit more. But I tell you, if you're Tom Palmer hangs out on Nina Discord, and he's very responsive, and having hung out there for a while, I know what I need to do is anytime you're going to go and report an issue, or not really, I don't think this is necessarily an issue, but have a question, it's always good to first check the documentation, which is up on GitHub. And if we go into this here, there is a link in here of where the documentation is located. And then the other thing is go into the log files and see what might be going on there. So I don't know if I answered your question about the number of shots taken in each channel is unbalanced. Okay, so we're still. I have noticed that for some reason it does a couple of autofocus early on when I first start imaging, and I'm okay with that in a sense. It does take 3 minutes or 3.5 minutes out of the yeah, like that run took 3 minutes 30 seconds. I might be able to tweak the parameters to reduce that time. The other thing is I am using options. I am using filter offsets. So basically my focusing is based off of the luminous filter, and then Nina knows what the focus offset is for each of the other filters. I find that a time saver, and I've actually gone back and saw what the Nina Darks Customs thought the offsets should be, and then I went and I just kind of double checked it by moving to that position for each of the other filters, and everything looked really good as far as focus. So I'm very comfortable with the filter offset approach in Nina. Okay. Messi Lee was probably not the best answer, but I'll dig a little bit more into that on why there was that imbalance between the blue filter, and then I'll post something in the video description when I get back home that maybe provides some additional information that's of some value. Again, I mentioned this telescope model. I believe it's this 0.3D. Yeah, this thing here, if you're not familiar with this plugin for Nina, I like it. It helps me understand at all times where my telescope is pointing, and in particular at the end of the night, on whether or not a return to home position or not. So I really like that plugin. And I'm not going to show my pushover plugin because my keys are in there, which I've already had to change once because I inadvertently showed it in one of the videos. But pushover sends me alerts to my phone if there's a failure or issue, which I really like that, because if you try and nap during the night, which I try to do, you want to be woken up if something is not working properly. And then here, and again, there's pretty good alignment on what my metrics are here. If anyone is familiar with this view here, I don't quite understand it yet. If we look at my calibration data, that's the current state of calibration for my AM5 mount. So that looks okay to me, but I'm open to any feedback you might have. And oh, where's my star? There's my star. Let's see if we can increase that view a little bit. And I think I have my guide scope properly focused, at least as good as I can do it by hand by moving the camera in and out of my William Optics Uniguide 32 guide scope. And so this looks pretty good here for my perspective, but I'm open to any feedback. I'm not getting the normal information that I have here. Well, there's a dither, or that's an autofocus run. So, okay, well, we want to see all that. And all right. And then I'm still getting a handle here on understanding these statistics. So anyone have any input, feel free to drop a comment. It's always appreciated. One of the reasons I like to do the videos that I do and do what I'm doing tonight is so I can get feedback. And, you know, it's a way for me to learn by having other people share with me, you know, what I'm doing wrong or what I can do better. You know, I love it. I love the feedback, and I've learned a lot in the process. All right, we got 8 people on. Well, thank you for joining tonight. Again, I'm from at Alamo Lake State Park in Arizona. I'm about 12 hours or so from home. Tonight will be my last night here, and it's really been an opportunity for me to use Tom Palmer's target scheduler and see if it's doing what it does, you know, for me, and that I understand it. And again, let's just take a look at the template again, or the the sequence. Again, it's a very simplified, advanced sequence. You got the beginning, you got an end, and then the key thing is this container, the target scheduler container. And there's many things you can do. A lot of people that use this have domes, you know, or observatories with roofs to slide off or whatever. And so there's certain things they want to do, and they have the ability, I guess, to check the weather, and if they need to close the roof for a period of time, there's certain actions that they can set. And Chris Woodhouse has some great videos on target scheduler when used, if you have an observatory and everything. But basically what we have here is just what has been going on. And here's the triggers that I run with, mainly the meridian flip and a couple around 2 for autofocus and 1 for center after drift. And then there is information here on what has been going on. Take exposure. There's the 2 HA exposures. Now it's switching filter to the SI. So this will give you a view, a detailed view. You have the sequence view over here, what's going on, and but in this view here, it's a detailed view of what's been happening, and so pretty cool. And go back into imaging here. Meridian in 1 hour and 56 minutes. Not a problem. I do run with a weather app, Open Weather, so it gives me an idea of the current environment here. Now this says cloud cover of 26%. I don't see that cloud cover visually when I'm out earlier in the evening. Again, there may be some high clouds that are moving in. I use atmospheric, and let's see what it says right now for this site. So right now at where we're at, it says 0% clouds. So I think, I don't know what your experience is, but one of the challenges I've had is reconciling the differences between the various forecast tools that are out there. when it comes to weather. And as you can see in this target here, S2 is pretty weak. And if you're not familiar with and I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but up in this corner here, and maybe I should make my mouse bigger, that's the amp flow from the ZWO ASI 294mm Pro camera. This amp glow will calibrate out with the proper darks, so has not been an issue. I like the camera paired with my Red Cat 51 Gen 2 because of its pixel size, and it's basically got a pixel size of 2.31 microns, and for me, I feel that that's a good relationship for my Red Cat 51 Gen 2, and it's also astronomy.tools, one of their calculators there indicates that it's a good match as well. Now, some people say don't worry about that, and that's fine, but for me, right now, being new, this is only the start of my third or fourth year. There's still so much I need to learn, but I'm very comfortable with this camera and the Red Cat 51. On my Edge HD8, I run the 533mm and with the 3.76 pixel size. Okay. Yeah. So on the question is the X in the focus curve. That's a good question. So let's go back into imaging and let's go into autofocus, and then let's look at some of the. So that was the last one. Okay. So I don't see the X. It seems to go away, but let's take a look at a couple of the runs, and I think right there is the focus point actually for that run. And then if we go back in again, what I tend to the hyperbolic coefficient is kind of what I tend to look at, and where the position of the focus is. So that's 25, 227. 25, 331. So, I mean, that point's going to vary a little bit with temperature, I would imagine. But yeah, I've been seeing the red X on the runs, but then what's actually stored as far as the run, it doesn't show. So I'm really not sure. But I should check the Hocus Focus documentation. And then if we go into here, options, general, if you're not familiar, oh, not that one there. That's not what I want. Telescope. No, I don't want that. I always lose the position of this one. Oh, here. So under imaging options is where you can have your choice between Hocus Focus or Nina. So I imagine most Nina users know that. So I run with Hocus Focus. There's also Aberration Inspector, which is a feature of Hocus Focus, which I like, and that helped me a lot in setting back focus on my Edge HD8, which is really a basket case right now, my Edge HD8. But owning it has been a positive experience, the Edge HD8, and I think I'm going to take the reducer out. Again, I have these dashes for stars, and I haven't sorted that out, so I figured why not just go take the reducer out, reset my back focus and see what I get and work the issue from there, and then I'd be at the native focal length of 2032. So, all right. So what are my statistics? Yeah, there's more information available in Nina than I know what to do with, to tell you the truth, if I was to be honest. I hope over time to step through these various views and understand what it's telling me better than what I understand currently. As you know, if you're in this hobby, there's just so much information. And you have to pick and choose what you focus on to try to get up to a point where you can develop some reasonably good data so you can then process it. But there's just a tremendous amount of information. Again, I do have my rotator, my Wanderer Astro Mini V2 rotator in my image train, but I am not using it currently because when I built these targets in Target Scheduler, let's go into when I built these plans in Target Scheduler, I did not identify the rotation angle. So I think what I need to do is go through the various targets that I add into my target list here, figure out what the proper rotation angle is, and then enter that rotation as part of the imaging plan for that target. So since I didn't do that in advance, I wanted to finish these targets, they're framed properly, and then for future targets I'll go in, like for this Monkey Head Nebula, and I'll sort out what the rotation should be of my camera to properly frame this. So I've got a lot to learn on the rotator, but it works. I got the right spacers, the right clearances are there. I just have a little bit more work to do relative to that. And then the other thing in here so I did do Orion Nebula, and here's an example of where I acquired more sub-exposures than were accepted, but I reached my desired number of exposures for each filter. So that works there, and I think we can go and we can go back and look at that data. So let's go into the acquired images for M42, and these have already been captured. And there were a couple of HFR, but not to complicate things, I had in January captured a bunch of M42 exposures, and while I purged them from the acquired database, I did not go into the target management and adjust it here. So there was like a second step. So this kind of shows a combination of those the exposures I took on around the 16th of January, plus the ones I took the other night here. And so again, this is part of me learning how to use Target Scheduler. And if I purged the prior acquired from the Target Scheduler database, I should have made an adjustment here to correspond to that purging of those. So it's all good. I think I have enough to get an image, but again, they're just the little things I need to learn about using Target Scheduler. And I took a bunch of data from the Leo triplet, so if we take a look at that, um, so I took a bunch of data. Now the Leo triplet is very small in a when I'm imaging with my Red Cat 51, but I wanted to fill out the balance of the night, so I actually did 4 targets on that night, and the scheduler just managed all that, started and stopped the each target at the appropriate time, and I was able to image through the entire night. And I will process the Leo triplet data, but you're going to need a magnifying glass to see it because of the 250 millimeter field of or focal length of the Red Cat 51. But that's okay. It was a great exercise for learning how to use the target scheduler. All right, let's see. Wow, I really appreciate you, those of you that dropped in tonight. It gave me an opportunity to see if I could set things up in the field and if I had enough bandwidth through the Starlink and everything. And just kind of share with you, if you're not currently imaging and maybe you're following the channel because you want to image, or maybe you are a current ASI Air platform user, maybe you get a little insight into NINA, nighttime imaging and astronomy. It's a great piece of software, and I always want to give the disclaimer. I owned at one time 2 ASI Air Plus devices. They are very good devices, a tremendous value based upon what your needs are. My needs evolved beyond what the current state of the ASI Air platform could provide, but it's a great device based upon what your needs are. I wanted to move into a rotator. I know ZWO was working on one, and I guess there's a show, the Neef show or whatever, and they talked about it, but they haven't released it yet. And if we go into the sky map, and what are we? We're on IC 2177, and we go into the framing assistant with my rectangular micro 4/3 sensor on my 294mm Pro. I wanted to be able to properly frame targets, and so that's why, rather than going out there and kind of rotating it by hand and everything, so I think by the next time I go out, I'll have the rotator and the rotation information properly set up in my target plans and target scheduler, so it'll do the proper rotation, and then I'll be in sync going forward, where the rotator will be in action. So, hey, Jason, how are you doing, fellow? I got your comment on Kaffa and your trip out there. I haven't looked at the video yet, but yeah, I think Arizona is not as dark as it once was. But what are you going to do? So yeah. So I don't know how long I'm going to go here. I've got a whole hour and 41 minutes for the meridian. I'm happy with my guiding metrics. 0.91 seconds per pixel, I think. So I'm pretty happy with that. My stars are looking good. So I'm not going to worry too much. This I don't think this view here, HFR history, is of a lot of value when you're doing two filters and then two filters, two filters, two filters, two filters. It's kind of hard to interpret this data. Whereas if you're doing filters sequentially, like you did your 30 exposures of HA and then 30 of SI, 30 of O3, then I think this information would be a little bit easier to interpret. But again, let's see what the scheduler says where we're at. Okay, so here's some trigger information there. All right, so one of the parameters I have set is an autofocus every 60 minutes. And I think this is telling me the elapsed time since the last autofocus maybe is 24 minutes and 39 seconds. So in about another 35 plus minutes, it'll hit another autofocus unless I have a 2 degree Celsius temperature change. So yeah, I am not using an OAG. I'm using with my Redcat 51. I'm using the William Optics Uniguide 32 with a ZWO-ASI 120mm Pro guide camera, and that works out real well for me on the Redcat 51. On the Edge HD 8, I am using the Celestron OAG with the 174 ASI once. I forget the camera that I'm using on the Edge HD. I'm trying not to think about the Edge HD right now because I have a couple issues with it that I'll have to resolve. One thing about going out to the field, I don't know, or just even at home, if you have any thoughts on what's it like to try and keep 2 rigs going during the course of the night. I tell you, hey Mike, how you doing? Thanks for dropping in. You know, if you're trying to run 2 scopes at night, I wonder what your experience have been. There's times when, for me, it's overwhelming. In particular, if you have one that's an issue. And, you know, the good thing about having 2 scopes is, like, I have an issue with my Edge HD 8, so I've just got it covered up out there. I'm not going to deal with it anymore tonight. I'm leaving tomorrow. When I get home, I'll figure out what's going on. But, you know, the Redcat 51 with the AM5 mount and the ASI 294mm Pro camera, you know, it's great. It works. It's good. It took me a little bit to get familiar with Tom Palmer's target scheduler, but it's a great rig system. The Edge HD has always been a little bit more challenging. What really throws me on that one is in December I had no issues whatsoever, and then I go out on January 16th. I've got these stars that are dashes. I didn't invest much time in trying to fix it other than I replaced the fan in the 533mm Pro camera, thinking maybe there was some vibration there. That didn't fix it. So I've got it covered up. But at least I'm getting enjoyment using my Redcat 51 on this trip. But sometimes I find having 2 scopes, if there's any type of an issue with one, it kind of often can detract you from getting the other one started at the beginning of the night and those type of things. So, yeah, Jason, I'm with you on that. I think that it's my CFO. One second. Hey, sweetie. Lori? Yeah?
What are you doing?
I'm doing a live stream. So if you get on YouTube, go to my channel, you'll see the live stream. Okay? Can I talk to you later?
Bye.
All right. I love you. Bye. Wow. So you run 3 ASI airs, so you have three scopes, I take it, Michael, huh? You know, hey, Michael, on that Surface Duo, is that like the Microsoft Surface? I found I had an old Surface RT from probably, I had it a long time ago. I had it put away on a shelf, and it doesn't run much of anything anymore. You can't upgrade the Surface RT operating system or anything, but it has remote desktop on it, and so I use that. And what I like about the Surface RT, it only uses 8 watts. I mean, when you're out in the field and power is always something you got to keep an eye on, 8 watts is fantastic. You get a lot of mileage out of your power station at 8 watts. So, and in here in the van, I have no electric unless I run the generator, so I'm operating off my house batteries. So I have a Samsung tablet that I like, and it hooks into the DC power here, so that's not bad. And probably tonight, before no generator after 10 p.m. here, I'll run the generator a little bit tonight to top off the batteries. All right, so for the people that recently joined, again, my focus here tonight is kind of trying to highlight the Tom Palmer target scheduler. I'll just do a little recap. It made working with the Nina Advanced Sequencer super easy. You still build a start section and an end of night section, and mine are very simple. And then the main thing is this container, which is a target scheduler container, which you drag in here, and then all the magic happens in here. And a place to set your triggers. So it really, I struggled trying to get a multi-target night sequence built using the templates in Nina Advanced Sequencer. This is really a piece of cake, and again, because it's how you work with the plugin and in the target management, and then it's the construct, or what can I say, how you build your exposure templates and everything is really really simple. It really makes a lot of sense. So you work in this area here, building a target, associating exposure plans. As you run a target on a night, it tells you how many you have acquired, how many have been accepted, because this does have a image grader capability, which I'm using. But it's like super easy. And then, it just happens here. Here's the first target, and, your transit display with horizon and everything. And then this keeps you updated with what's going on, when you're changing filters, the time that you took the exposure. And so I guess I'm kind of evangelizing. If you're a Nina user, you might want to consider Tom Palmer's target scheduler plugin. And then here's for tonight, or the last couple of nights, for the last 2 days, for this target here. This is what I've acquired. And then these that were graded as a reject, but I don't need to observe that when I bring these things into Pix Insight. I can load those in. I'll inspect the individual frame. But what I really like is in an easy glance, it tells you what your eccentricity is, and full width, half maximum, and HFR. And now again, you don't have to observe that. It's just an indicator as to an initial cut of what your exposure quality might be based upon the parameters in the image grader. And again, Tom Palmer's got very good documentation, and he hangs out on Discord, and he's available for questions and everything. But it just made life very simple. And last night, we'll just say, was it last night? Or was it? Yeah. So let's see. Can I just get for last night? 2 days. Today. Can I go to the 12th? Okay. So that's from the 12th. Was it last night? Yeah, so let's go for the 11th. Let's try the 11th. Yeah, I don't know that I can sort out just the individual night. Okay, so 12 to 13. Yeah, because I think it's including some of tonight in here. Yeah, that's 13. But 12. So, okay, this would be last night. So, Leo triplet, IC 2169, and Siegel Nebula and Orion. So last night through this morning, scheduler imaged 4 different targets for me. It made decisions on what to image when. So it's really I don't know, it's a piece of cake. I'm really enjoying it. So, Christopher, really like your channel and broadcast like tonight. Helps me understand what it takes to operate in the field. I'm about to go on my first field trip. But doing different types of runs with my amp-5 might suggest that you operate PH2 with a update rate of 1 second. Yeah, so I've gone back and forth on the update rate between 1 and 2. And there's some pros and cons on which way to go. I'm happy with my metrics at 2, and the quality of my stars and everything. But yeah, I've heard that, Christopher, and that may be really good information. But I'm running with 2, and there's a reason for that. Probably it was my interpretation of the documentation at the time, and something about chasing, if you're chasing seeing and stuff like that. But I have to go back and look through. But yeah, I think again, there's probably going to be some differences in what each of us may use. I like the two for my current configuration and the areas that I'm imaging in. So, but yeah, I mean, right now I'm I'm at 0.67 in total. Again, for the quality of my images, I think I'm okay here. Maybe I can tweak that a little bit more. I do like the ASI, the AM5 mount. Again, I did try and run my Edge HD 8 on it. No problem there. It was great without a counterbalance. I only did for about an hour and a half, and I was happy with the that it could handle the weight. Now, I do sandbag the legs of my tripod. I'm using the carbon fiber tripod, so I put a little bit of weight there. Okay, whose battery's running low? Whose battery is that? Okay, is it this battery? Why are you low?
Oh.
All right, well, that was a valid message. I thought I had plugged into my Jackery, and now we should be cooking with gas again. Yeah, we're back in. All right. Well, again, a lot going on when you're trying to do something new. All right. Well, I don't know how long I've been going. I think I'm going to kind of close things up. I want to thank everyone for taking a moment to drop into the channel, and I appreciate your effort. And if I can organize a little bit better live stream in the future, I'll definitely consider doing that when I'm out of the site. I mean, I've got the Starlink with me. It has a lot of bandwidth capability for live streams, and but I want to make sure that I have a little bit more organized approach to what I'm doing. But maybe there's not a lot going on right now, so it's a good time for you to drop in. But is there any particular questions anyone might have about the target scheduler before I close? Oh, there's my CFO. Hey, sweetie. There's my CFO and wife is just dropped into the chat. And here I am in Arizona, and tomorrow's Valentine's Day. All right, Jason, thanks for dropping in. Hey, Lori, I'm just about to finish up here and close things down. Things are going well. And again, if anyone has any questions or anything, or wants any feedback from me around Target Scheduler, let me know. I think it's a great tool if you're a user of Nina. I think it can provide you a tremendous amount of value, makes working with the advanced sequencer super simple. This is my fourth night now, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. It works. It works. It lets you know how many images you've acquired. It keeps a database for you. It grades images for you, which you can ignore if you want to and just bring everything in. There's a lot to like about it. And let it make decisions. It's got a moon avoidance feature, which I'm not currently using yet, but I will in the future implement that into my exposure plans. So it's got a lot of upside if you're a nighttime imaging and astronomy, aka NINA user. So I highly recommend you take a look at it. So yeah, Christopher, no issue with the AM5. I did purchase the bar, and I do have a counterweight that I could put on it. Patrick Kerrigan, who you may know, Patrick's Astro and Stuff channel, he's running his Stellar View on his AM5 without a counterweight, and I think he's up around 26 pounds. So yeah, I would have no problem running the Edge HD8 on the AM5 if I had a second AM5. So, and who knows, maybe in the future. My CFO's on the chat. I better be careful about future plans. All right, everyone. Thanks again. Where can I find the target scheduler profiles and logs? Target scheduler. Okay, yeah, great question. Let's take a look at that. So where do I want to go? I want to go here. Here's a great site on the screen, Amboy Crater. It's out in Amboy, California. A great dark site. So let's go into. So where can I find target scheduler profiles and logs? Okay, so let's. Target scheduler, GitHub. Okay, I'm not finding it. So here's the target scheduler. So let's see, profiles and logs. So that information would be here, technical details, logging. So they would be in the local app data NINA scheduler plugin logs. So we can go there. Make sure I'm on the right computer. See if I can do this. Okay, so that's the logs. So in the in your user app data local NINA, there's the plugin. So here's the target scheduler logs. I'll put this link to his documentation in the video description. So there's the log data. Here is the SQLite files that he tracks for the database. It tracks how many your plans, how many images you've acquired, what your exposure plans are, and everything. So you'll find that in that information. And profiles. The profiles you build, but they would be Yeah, I had to do those profiles. So where are my so database file locations. Oh, so yeah, I just what am I doing? Okay. So let's go into Nina. Your profiles are built in here. So when you go into when you go in here to add a target, and I don't know, let's just I don't know, let's just add one maybe. So you can import your target in here, and so that's the start, and then you can bring in an exposure plan. It'll always bring in the top one of your list, but then you can bring in additional exposure plans. So HASI, bring in another one. And then you could put in how many are your desired frames per filter for 204. This is arbitrary naming, but I have HA240, which means HA filter for 240 seconds. And then you can come in here and you can put in your and then you can then here's where you could add your rotation. I didn't do that for the targets that I'm imaging now, even though I have the rotator. My future plans I'll put some information in for rotation in each of the plans, and then you save it, and then there you see you just created a target with an exposure plan, and then you can also decide to enable or disable the target, and then save that. But it is really straightforward. So hopefully, Christopher, that answered your question on where the log files and profiles are. And so, okay. So, all right, everyone, later. Thanks again. Clear skies wherever you may be. And sweetie, if you're still on, how do you know when you are live streaming? Well, I think you have to hit the notification bell, sweetheart. I'll work with you when I get home, and we'll sort that one out. So, hey, and Lori, I'll video call you when I end the live stream. So, but thank you for dropping in, sweetheart. Your support is without measure. All right, everyone. Good night. Let's see if I know how to end this stream. It's been fun. This has been a good trip for me. This is a fun little thing to do. Hopefully you enjoyed it too. And maybe I'll do it more in the future when there's something of interest to share. Other than that, clear skies. Till next time.